The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that sees all things new. I am Zaira Tumang and I'm streaming live from Lian, Batangas.
And I am Joseph Sylvester and I'm streaming live from Parañaque City. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Understanding the Why in Blockchain.
Welcome back, everyone. Again, I am Ira to understanding the why in. So, this is going to be our last episode, Sly. And I just wanted to say before we even start the last episode to everybody who's watched us and bear with us, even our last episode. And thank you two, for bringing that back because many people needs to see and hear what we had to say. And thank you also for TNC for having us in this show, and for, of course, my very good friend, Apple Manansala. You know what it is, and we'll be always with TNC and the rest of the TNC family. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to really heartwarmingly thank you, everyone, for your time, effort, and your belief in us. So, welcome back again, guys. And I'm glad to be back, but I am just in a different place right now. In our today's final episode, hindi siya sinadya. It just so happened that we needed to take a break and we wanted to go out of the city. But our discussion is still the same, still understanding the why in blockchain. So we want to close out our season and discuss the why you should get into the blockchain. And we want to look through several lenses or perspectives and help you guide to understand what blockchain was really meant to do for people like you and me. And, in every businesses or any projects you may have in mind. Then understand the why behind the projects, because to truly understand the usage of blockchain technology, we must look through the lens of its creators. Today's episodes contains several topics such as trading, blockchain technology, and education or adoption. This way, we can reach out to several types of people in existing industries. With me today, of course, none other than my partner in crime, Sly, who's been very good in his job for creating, all of our topics, all of our discussions here in Crypto Chic. And I just wanted to also take this opportunity, Sly, in front of
Mm.
everybody. Thank you for all of the hard work, all of the sleepless nights, all of the problems that you went through with this. I just want to say you're the man. And, please welcome back
Mm.
Sly to the show, guys.
Hey guys, what's up? Okay, so thank you for that. That's really nice of you. But all right, so let's do this. So I noticed that you mentioned certain keywords earlier regarding truth, lenses or perspectives, and knowing what the thought process is behind the technologies, behind blockchain technologies through the eyes of its creators.
Hmm.
Surprisingly, you would be like in the entire blockchain space, it is
Which is
filled with
huge.
good. Yeah, it is. Here's the thing: it's filled with good ideas. It's filled with bad ideas.
That
However,
still works.
right? However, did you realize that in terms of the entire space of blockchain, it is filled with really good, bad ideas?
Okay, so I understand where you're going with this because I've seen so many of those really good bad ideas that actually work. But I know to some who's watching us, this is not just a bit, but it's really confusing. I mean, how can a good one be a bad one, or how a bad one can be a good one? What do you mean? Is it like what do you mean? Like it's a scam, or I mean, what do you exactly you mean by that?
Okay. So we all know that there are good ideas. Basically, this is more of an understanding of a project that understands a need in the market and knows how to fulfill that need. It's pretty basic.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now there's the bad idea. This is more like knowing purposefully that it's not going to work, but there is an extremely or very low chance that it might succeed. Now,
Uh huh.
then there are really good bad ideas. Now, these are ideas that make sense, but however, through a deeper understanding of how something works, it has a 50-50 chance of succeeding or failing. Now,
Hmm.
I think it's better to explain this with a presentation that I created, which covers this.
Well, we've seen a lot of like projects that was created and launched, and it has been successful for the next 24 hours and then it failed,
Mm,
but we don't know. Probably that's just the goal of those creators, and to them that was already a success duping somebody else. But I wanted to get to know more of these in your presentation, so which I'm really gonna miss because you've been doing a lot of good things about these presentations, and I know that you work hard for this again. So let's go.
all right. So if I can please, yeah, share my slide. Okay. So here we go. So here's what we're going to discuss today. Okay. Now, the topic discussion for this episode, for this last episode, is again, we want to understand the why in blockchain. So today we're going to discuss blockchain technology as an expression of personality. We're going to
Hmm.
understand the intent of a project through a creator's personality or
Hmm.
perspective. Now, I'm going to cite a few examples of good ideas, bad ideas, really good bad ideas, and then we're going to map out the current patterns of how these ideas take shape into the market. Okay. Then we're going to lead with where does your personality fit in blockchain? Is it more
Hmm.
towards education, development, or do you want to become an influencer or a key opinion leader in the space? And lastly, we'll end up
Hmm.
closing the show with the understanding of why, why understanding why develops who you will be in the blockchain
Hmm.
space. Yeah.
Well, I'm very much interested in what you have to say about this really good bad ideas. it's it's tongue twister, but it really makes sense. I'm getting a little bit suspense now because we'll probably get to know more of the creators, and let's just say crazy good ones or crazy bad ones. But as usual, you will have a unique way of explaining things just to make sense out of all of this. So please continue.
All right. So let's do this. So, to start off with, we have to understand that, in a sense, uh, blockchain technology is an expression of personality. Now, in terms
Mm-hmm.
of the blockchain space, there's areas such as cryptocurrency trading, decentralized finance, decentralized autonomous organizations or DAOs. You have the NFT markets, and then you have the understanding of cryptocurrencies, coins versus tokens. Okay, and I know we've discussed this in many previous episodes,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll cover these for today, just to kind of keep things simple for the audience.
Right.
So let's look at cryptocurrency trading. What is the personality behind that? So when we look at the personality of crypto trading platforms, you know, it kind of gives an equal opportunity to grow wealth or lose it. Now, we can also
Mm-hmm.
take that to other markets as well, Forex and so on and so forth. There's an
Right.
equal opportunity. Now, to be specific, when we talk about cryptocurrency trading platforms, the one has been brought to my attention is the FTX platform, founded by Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, what was his why, his purpose, his cause? Basically,
Mm-hmm.
what he found out through trading before he started FTX was that he found a really good idea of what through arbitrage trading, meaning he would buy up a cryptocurrency asset in one platform because on another
Mm-hmm.
platform you can sell that same asset at a higher price. So in
Right.
a sense, that's arbitrage. Now he did this.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has a deep understanding of how arbitrage trading works. Again, deep
Mm-hmm.
understanding that through refinement of this process of understanding, he executed and he got enough money to start this idea and make it known as FTX trading platform. So,
Mm-hmm.
good idea, deep
Right.
understanding.
Yes.
He knows what he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, good idea. Okay, now let's go to decentralized finance. What's the personality behind this concept? So, in a sense, the personality of decentralized finance. It's the same idea as crypto trading platform, except this
Mm-hmm.
time you don't have to necessarily understand, uh, how to trade. This one is
Right.
strictly that, just like a banking type of system where you invest funds,
Mm-hmm.
decentralized finance in a general sense here will take your funds and grow them slowly. But what makes it different is, unlike banks, which charge less than 1% in interest, in terms of DeFi, the interest levels or the interest rates are way higher. Of course, there is a given amount of time that you need to provide to
Mm-hmm.
reach maturity. Now let's look at an example here. I always bring them up, usually in some episodes. It's called Aave. The founder is Stani Kulikov. Now,
Actually,
what was?
I have to thank this guy because of Ave. You know how I really liked how I positioned myself before when I was trading very very new with crypto, and I made a good killing with Aave when it was just what 50 $50, and it grew
Mm,
to like a exponential. And because of this guy, I was able to buy a car. So
mm,
for me, it was a good one.
right. So now let's look at the purpose, his why or his cause.
Hmm.
It's this idea that he understood the banking industry. Now he translated what he understood with the banking industry into the crypto world or into the blockchain space. Now, understand that Aave runs on smart contracts, which makes it a
Right.
very decentralized platform. So the why
Hmm.
here is, with his understanding of the banking system, translating that into blockchain. What you're looking at is basically a platform, Aave,
Hmm.
that generates yields for its investors that stake their cryptocurrency on their platform. So there is no need to
Hmm.
learn how to trade, because they will do technically here the trading for you. But what they're really doing in the background is finding very performing blockchain projects in the space and in a way growing your money. Yeah.
And you can
By
lend as
staking.
well, right? You can actually
Yeah, with
loan.
flash loans. Yeah,
Yeah.
flash loans and all of that. So there's a lot of things here that he took from his deep understanding of the banking industry and put it into a platform. So again, we're looking at a good idea, deep understanding of a particular field. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so with a good cause, by the way.
Right.
Um, now, um, let's look at DAOs here, for example, decentralized autonomous organizations. Now, this is going to be a two-parter, but you'll understand why I'm mentioning DAOs. We have to look at DAOs more like a crowdfunding technique in the cryptocurrency space. It's the idea that I have a project that is represented by a coin in this or token, and basically, if this project goes well because you buy my token, um, we hope to see it rise in value because it is a good project.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we have. We have the basically two out of the four co-founders or main founders of basically Board Ape Yacht Club. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Wiley Aronao and Greg Solano. Now, yes, they are two out of the four creators of the Board Ape Yacht Club, but what they created when the Board Ape Yacht Club NFT collection blew up back in 2020 and
Mm-hmm.
2021, and I blow up in a good way. You know what I mean? There was a lot of investments into Board Ape
Mm-hmm.
Yacht Club. But let's look at their cause, their why, and why they created, in this case, Ape DAO. Because the project of Board Ape Yacht Club was super successful, especially because it was promoting OpenSea when it first launched. To be honest with you,
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
so so what happened was when we look at their character, their personality, they said, you know what? Let's test out this new NFT technology. We have OpenSea. Let's see
Mm.
if our understanding, our education of NFTs at the time, let's
Mm-hmm.
test it out and see if it blows up. And guess what? It
Mm.
did.
It
So,
did. Yeah, it actually helped OpenSea a lot.
oh hell yeah, it did. It opened up. Yeah. So now with the success of Board Ape Yacht Club, they decided, hey, let's go again. Let's crowdfund this another idea. Let's call it a DAO now. You have the NFT. Now let's create a
Mm-hmm.
DAO token. So again, crowdfunding, that is the personality. Because the first project they had was successful, they can then take that success and move it to the next project for crowdsourcing. So DAO, that's the personality of a DAO.
Right.
Okay. So now, but here's the thing though. They're testing. They don't know if it's going to work, but I'm assuming they had some education with the understanding of how NFTs work. So this is a very good bad idea.
Good idea.
Okay. Because we haven't tested it. We don't know. But
Well,
it was
just
proven
like in any
successful.
other businesses, right? I mean, you haven't really figured out your way out of how to make money. I mean, you have ideas how to make money. I mean, one or two are free, but you actually have not tested it. And in most cases, those are the same things when you were opening, a Sari store out of nowhere, or a grocery somewhere, and you have all of those marketing strategies, but you don't know if it's going to click. But well, I think for me, I mean, in a personal opinion, I think it worked because they were brave enough to test it because it's only the market who will decide anyway if they want to go into it or not. So, yes, I agree. It was a bad idea that turned out to be a great idea, but I'm not sure now that everybody has, invested with Bored Ape Yap Claude, but some of them may be happy, some may not be happy, but that's how world works. You may buy it at a time when you needed it to buy and it was a good time to buy, but you'll never know if it's going to crash or if it's going to grow up. So it still needs to have a little more testing. And I feel right now, even if Da Vinci wasn't Da Vinci when he's now Da Vinci. He doesn't even know he's going to be Da Vinci, but he just created the thing that he loved, and apparently it was a great one, and it's still Da Vinci until now. And even if he's no longer here, everybody knows who Da Vinci is.
Right. it's a good thing that you brought up those points about Da Vinci, because when we look at, let's say, arts, in this case, we're talking about NFTs and things like that. We're talking about the
Mm-hmm,
arts.
mm.
There,
Right.
what you'll come to notice, not just in this episode, but in terms of blockchain in general, there's this feeling that we're going back to what the internet was back in the early 2000s, where everyone can see the personality via your
Mm-hmm.
website design. And trust me, if you had
Right.
MySpace at the time, there was some horrible designs, but the personality was there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a similar way when you're about to launch a celebrity. You know that that person doesn't even look good, but
Mm.
he has or she has the whole entire package. Like she can dance, she can sing, she can rap, she can do whatever she can. But I mean, physically, I'm not so sure. But the personality is there, right? I don't want to mention names. I have people in mind, but everybody has their own thing. But that's just the way it is. Everybody has their own taste. And apparently for the DAO and for Board Ape Yacht Club, it has its own personality, and they made it.
Right. And surprisingly, that personality vibed with a lot of people. Of course, marketing
Mm,
helped, but you'll understand that, personality kind of engages the same like-mindedness of people that you're trying to attract. Okay.
right.
So let's move on to the next one. So let's look at NFT market storefronts. Now, there's a whole bunch of them, and I like using OpenSea a lot because I think they have the better history that kind of explains what I'm saying. So when we look at
Mm,
NFT storefronts or markets, the concept of the personality here is that um, these platforms are created so people can, mint, sell, basically mint digital artwork and provide
mm-hmm,
its owners that it's an original artwork because it came from the blockchain. So the
mm-hmm,
intent is good. When we
mm-hmm.
look at OpenSea now its creators, Devin Finzer and Naval Ravikant, basically they
Who
understood
looks like Rob? Who looks like Rafael Nadal, right?
probably, but
He does.
but you have to understand the background of these people. They came from industries that dealt with collectibles, art, and things of that sort. But again, they had the experience in a similar industry with their understanding of blockchains, NFTs, and so on and so forth. They created the platform OpenSea with their
Mm-hmm.
experience and understanding of blockchain technology. So what they're saying is OpenSea is basically a tool that allows consumers to trade, basically their items freely. Again, decentralized,
Mm,
to launch new digital works and
mm,
and build integrated marketplaces for digital items. So again, we're
mm-hmm.
looking at the intent. They have the experience, the know-how. They translated it into blockchain technology, and it was successful. This is a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to cover one last part. Now, coins and tokens. To keep it simple, coins have their own blockchain. They have their own developer community. They have a
Mm-hmm.
structured ecosystem. Keyword here: structured ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
and people can build on top of that infrastructure. So, good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Tokens. Now, tokens do not have their own blockchain and can be created by anyone. There is no structure or governing rules by
Mm-hmm.
default, meaning it's a free for all. Once you create it on the blockchain, it's there. You can do whatever you want to do with it, promote it how you want to do with it. Again, just like any token, it can represent anything digitally. Okay. So
Right.
tokens provides very little benefits, but problems start to show themselves if placed in the wrong hands. Okay. However, because of certain token standards, things like that, you
Mm.
can actually give a token in infrastructure to abide by. So, in general,
Mm.
tokens by themselves, bad idea. Okay.
Well, you may say it. It could be a bad idea, but to others that make it work and still believe and still continue. I mean, just like boarded the yacht club and tried it in OpenSea. If now they're hitting, a lot of problems. Just like any tokens, it's not gonna be like a smooth sailing, because many people will still try and
Okay. Uh, right, right.
test it time because of many things. But in reality, hopefully it will work out
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in terms of you know, coins, tokens, and like you said, nothing is ever set in stone. There's always adjustment periods. Um, but here's the thing.
Mm,
So we've established an idea of good ideas, bad ideas, and really good bad ideas. So
hmm
let's now try to piece together and understand and answer the question earlier. What do I really mean by really good, bad ideas? Let's piece that together now.
Yeah, you really need to explain this now because I'm not just beyond curious. You mentioned a couple of many examples, personalities, creators, and founders, but I'm still not understanding what they're trying to get at.
Okay. Now, to quickly explain this part, just like anything in that comes into the market, of course, you have a team. And when we
hmm
think about an idea, technically ideas are not bad or good, they're just neutral. Okay. Proper planning and
hmm
execution, that's part of the process. Now,
hmm
remember, keep in mind what I'm talking about is blockchain. It does get complex.
It
Now,
is.
here's what I'm noticing in terms of my years being in blockchain technology, where you have teams where every single
hmm
member has some form of experience and education in blockchain,
hmm
yet not really seasoned in other industry sectors. Let's say
hmm
like development,
hmm
smart contracts, but they understand blockchain.
Right. It's
Okay.
just simple as like our own team. I mean, we can agree to disagree that Joel is really good in marketing and Queen and I are good in sales, but you suck at that. But you're awesome in blockchain tech and smart contracts. So
Right.
I get exactly what you mean.
Right, but at least there's someone on the team to help educate the rest, and that's still good.
Exactly.
But then there's other teams that, first time they think they know because they watch a couple of YouTube videos. They
Videos.
don't, and we would assume that that is okay. They're educated now. It's a totally
Mm,
different aspect.
mm,
So when we talk about um, a lot of these businesses that I mentioned, FTX, OpenSea, again, these guys had an understanding of a specific field outside of blockchain. But of course, they hired people to teach them, or they hired people who are knowledgeable, because that's part of the process in business. But what I'm saying
mm,
to the more smaller teams is that through my experience, I've always noticed smaller teams who were very informed and educated about blockchain perform very well for a project than those
mm,
um, that they think they do, um,
mm,
uh, but they're very seasoned in their industry. Let's say if you're a developer or a smart or some kind of salesperson. Okay,
mm,
the key point to this slide is that through every phase of whatever life cycle of your project, I see a lot of successes that there's this understanding first of blockchain. Okay,
mm.
so again,
It's just building
uh,
a house. I mean, how could you, how could you even say it is really good house if you don't even know the foundation of it? Is it built on adobe? Is it built on cement? Is it built on stilts? Is it built on bamboo? I mean, it's better for you to have a whole entire grasp of how it was built, its framework or its foundation, than just coloring it pink or white or peach or whatever you want to call it. And then by then you can
right,
just generalize it's a good house. By looking at the picture it could be a good house, but You'll never know. Probably there are ants or there are bugs underneath it.
Right, right. So yeah, in a way, when we look at how we try to structure idea, bring it to market, you start to see a pattern emerge that really is similar
Hmm.
to the structure and diagram of blockchain. But I think
Hmm.
with that being said, how about this? We'll come back after the break. How about that?
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
Juan Lu and his puppets face to face with special guests Makata Tawanan, Jess Box, and the Lunaria Marionette Show.
Salita. Alam mo, Tito Anlo, kung wala ako, magsasalita ka mag-isa. Kung wala ako, wala kang masusuot. Kung wala ako, wala kang nakakain.
November 13, Sunday, 7 p.m. at the La Verdad Auditorium in Apalit, Pampanga. Buy your tickets now and see you soon, face to face.
The new channel is an online alternative new platform of online shows for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you. TNT aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our channel is a responsible global 24/7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influences, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. You can watch live or on replay via Facebook or YouTube. Follow us on IG. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search hashtag TNC Now. And for sponsorships, please email now@thenewchannel.com or send us a DM. Enjoy these life changing shows because we made them for you. All
Mm.
right, so again, my name is Zaira Tumang, and welcome back. We are still talking about understanding the why in blockchain.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Sly, saan nga tayo naputol kanina? I mean, I'm already like so much engaged with the conversation of the really good bad ideas. And I'm like I mentioned, I'm still beyond curious, but you gotta really put it into a different perspective, like not just me as your co-host but those people who's watching us right now. I mean, what are you guys talking about? Very good bad ideas. I know it's everybody is thinking, well, blockchain is making money, but beyond making money and understanding the foundation, where are we right now?
So where are we right now is that well, I think we're learning from our mistakes. Again, the space is getting mature, but I want to go back to the concept of the really good bad ideas by citing a very notable example here. I use
Mm,
Axie Infinity a lot because it is by far out of all NFT games, it has a really interesting rise to riches story with kind of a
mm,
fallout at the end. It's like a really good story if you were to put it in a novel form. So let's look at
mm-hmm,
Axie Infinity. Good idea. It's very based off this concept of gotta catch 'em all Pokemon. So everyone understands that concept. Hey,
mm,
it's because of that, all ages friendly, and because it's going into the whole concept of blockchain and NFTs, it's the idea of collect them now,
it's a fun
scarcity.
it's a fun it's a fun NFT project that was a, to others it was a craze, and to others it was a fad, but to others it was a collector's item, and to some it's just a money making machine. So it everybody looks at it in a different perspective, and I really wanted to know what you think about this, and why is it a good idea, bad idea, and where is it gonna head right now?
Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that Axie Infinity, by my opinion, is absolute that it's a bad project because the tokens are worthless now. No, actually, it's a very good bad idea because there's so much potential. All they have to do now is just release it into the market again. Again, I'll
Mm,
talk about that in a bit. But the idea
mm,
is it was this concept that it was to replace your job. First of all, the intent was that it's supposed to be a fun NFT game. That was the intent, And
mm,
if you liked it, you play it. You can trade your NFTs, flip your
mm,
Axie monsters on the market
mm,
because you leveled them up. It's supposed to be this fun game. That was the intent. But of course,
mm,
bad decisions were made that kind of
mm,
caused a lot of people to be unhappy about what Axie
mm,
Infinity did to their lives. Let's just say that safely. Okay. But
mm,
there is potential that this thing can do a lot more. Of course, through refinement. Let's call it that. Yeah.
mm,
Okay. Let me move to another and last example. OpenSea. Same concept. The intent was good. It's all ages friendly, and it's supposed to provide this concept that hey, put your
mm.
digital artwork
Digital art piece, yeah.
or art
Hmm.
piece on the blockchain. It is yours because
And you can make
blockchain
money
says
out of it.
so. Right.
Mm.
Okay. So good idea. The intent was good. Now the bad idea is the fact that you can't blame OpenSea for this. You actually have to blame the users now. Okay. Okay. So here's a good example. Uh, Axie Infinity, great intent, but the company made some wrong decisions.
Hmm.
OpenSea, great platform. The intent was good. We have to blame the users now. Okay. Why
Okay.
do I say
Why?
that?
I mean, why do you say that? Yeah.
Okay, now I'm not saying that everything on OpenSea is trash. I am not saying that. What I'm saying is a good majority of the times the news that comes out is always overhyped collections that you got to buy them now. There's scarcity involved
Hmm.
and they're usually in numbers such as the tens of thousands. Okay.
Mm.
So, what do you get in the end? It's this idea that users are using the platform, of course, to make money. Everyone wants to make money, but they're doing it in a way where it feels like scarcity. It feels like digital
Mm.
artwork.
Mm.
And you see that so many times. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the result is very good, bad idea. So again, it just takes refinement. Now, OpenSea is making changes to its platform so people can't just upload 10,000 NFTs all at one time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They made changes on that. They've also made changes in terms of how their accounts are used to make sure that they're not bot accounts. Of course, you have the blue
Mm.
check mark. They've increased the requirements for the amount of Twitter followers before you get that uh, blue check mark or blue ribbon. So there's a lot of
Right.
refinements going on. Okay, again, good, very good, bad idea. So
So, so you mean to say, I mean, to summarize it, the very good bad ideas doesn't mean that they're scams, right? Or
mm-mm.
that it's to rob you of their money. It's more like, one, it serves its purpose as intended, which is a good part. Okay, done with the first part, and then goes second part. However, because users or companies exploit it to their advantage, which is the bad part, unfortunately. In a way, that's how decentralization unfortunately works. So you need to take, the good in with the bad, but you really have to assess it very well. Or probably just like in any relationship, right? It was good in the beginning, like best foot forward, everything is just smooth sailing. Now here comes the bad part. You see the bad side of people, and kind of like, can I go with it still? Is it still gonna work? Do you still want to go with the flow, or just end it just like that and then, okay, bye, arrivederci, I'm not gonna see you, good riddance, right?
It's funny how you try to analogize that in terms of the form of a relationship. But but if you were to use that same analogy, you have to understand that relationships all deal with whether or not you can deal with that person's personality.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like for example, like Axie Infinity, right? You said that the company, I'm not saying everybody created a bad decision, but some of them created a bad decision that made it a little bit difficult for others, right? So it was like, it's a relationship between the company internally, but some of them probably split, some of them probably didn't work out with the way Axie did it the way it did, and they just went out of Axie and did something else, right? So it goes to saying, like in any other business or any other project, it still has to go deeper than the why, right? Or it's just not the why, but also the why of others, right? You have to
hmm
marry your whys to other whys.
And that's why when it comes to relationship, you're really in it for the personality. But so let's since we're on the topic of personality here, Z. So here's the
Okay.
thing. Um,
Uh-oh.
so again, let's use the analogy of the relationship. But here's the thing: where
Mm-hmm.
does your personality fit in? Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
again, we're talking about the why in blockchain. Okay, so are you in blockchain to educate people? Are you in blockchain to develop dApps or decentralized applications?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a KOL or an influencer in blockchain? And there's many more examples I can say. The point is,
Okay.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
we can combine several personalities to create a product. For example,
Mm-hmm.
if you're an educator but you do development, and I've seen this a lot on YouTube, there's a lot of tutorials on building your first smart contract, build your NFT storefront. Hey, that's great, that's value right there. Now
Right.
next, let's say you're a blockchain developer, but at the same time you're educated enough in your field to influence decisions within, let's say, a project. Your
Mm-hmm.
product now is a very good bad idea or a business, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the idea that you have a deep understanding of
Right.
your field is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
Well,
last, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, because then we have last, and we see this a lot with and I don't say this in a negative way, but I see a lot of this in the crypto trading space. Influencers that know how to teach or educate others on how to trade. What are you trying to do? You're trying to drive a movement. We want to get people out of the basically elevate people is what I'm saying. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
question to you, Z. Oh yeah, so yeah, That's pretty much what it is. Now, let's hone it down with how are we answering the why in blockchain? Okay, I want to
Mm-hmm.
hone it down now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to say it like this through my experiences in blockchain. You got to get yourself educated, but the thing is, you also have to execute what you learn. When
Mm.
you do that, basically, you obtain a skill. Then you repeat the
Right.
process over and over. You have experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, with that experience, this is where you start to identify your personality and what do you identify
Yeah.
as.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very similar to a relationship. Okay.
Well,
Again, we'll just leave it at that.
once you
So,
answer your questions, like I mean, when we were creating Crypto Chic, it wasn't just to become an educator. I mean, obviously, we position ourselves as an influencer at some point. We also position ourselves as somebody who can help them with their projects and can help them elevate the projects that are already starting. Or sometimes we can also help them fix the problems that they did. So, in a way, to answer your question a while ago, we're not just Crypto Shake is not just me. Crypto Shake is not just you. It's the whole team being developing something that is good for everybody, but also we're not creating a movement, but we're trying to go with the flow with what the market needs right now. And along the way, we also learn for ourselves, we also learn for others. And in a similar manner, just like now, we're discussing these things, but as we go along with these topics, and it's not just me who's learning. I mean, hopefully you're also learning from me with the way I ask you some questions. And those who are watching us are also right, you're probably like analyzing their, not about their personality alone, but also what is their deeper why getting into the blockchain space. And is that why enough for them to go through the next step, and until they hit a rock, or how will they be able to go over that rock to make it as a success and bring people with them that can actually develop the things that they're thinking way back. And it's kind of like it's a cycle, and it's a process, and it's a journey that it can't be answered by now. It can be answered when you're already going through the whole entire thing.
right. So you notice that there is no absolute. There really is no
No.
end. It's just a process of
Mm-hmm.
refinement. So it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's good that you mentioned, in terms of, building out the whole crypto chic thing. It's an education thing. It's an influencer thing. I wouldn't say so much of a movement, but it's trying to create one. Put it that way.
Well,
So and
we are in a way a movement of like, we know which projects are crap, and we're not going to enable it, right?
right,
Well, I guess in our part we can just simply say, hey, we're saying we're not in this project. We're not also saying you guys are, not making things in the right way, but we're going to walk away from this because we're not going to enable you to create this only for yourself, because we're in this in a good version, not only for you, but also for everybody.
right. So excuse me. So yeah. So now again, we go back to this slide. When we understand your personality and what you identify as in this
Hmm.
space, the faster you can refine uh, where where you provide more valuable information or value to those around you and to those within the blockchain space.
Mm.
Now, I just want to touch on this because again, I'm speaking through experience here because I've been in blockchain for 4 years. Um,
Hmm.
just like anything else that you do in any industry, I want to say it like this. You can come into blockchain thinking, yeah, I'm a very seasoned, I'm very blah, 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 because I came from a very technical background. That's great.
Mm.
It will help you understand the complexities better. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, again, just because you understand the complexities without the execution, knowing that it has worked for you in the field, meaning, do you have the experience required? Do you have the deeper understanding? Because the goal really in blockchain, I'm telling you, it is very complex. But when we talk about deeper understanding, you start to really understand the struggles and kind of what makes you you in the space. Yeah.
It's that's funny how you present this kind of diagram, because we've gone over so many projects, and you and I debated on some form which one, what works, what will not work, if I'm just delusional, or you're not, you're probably just lazy about it, or just trying to veer away from things. It's like a cha-cha. You cannot dance the whole entire thing without getting into the beat of it. But you have to go through it for you to be able to really understand what you're showing us right now.
Right. And just like any dance, such as the cha cha, it does require two.
Hmm. Exactly.
So, so again, again, it requires two. Two meaning the person, and of course, the second person being blockchain. You got to put the
Hmm.
time in.
Right.
So let's look at this example right here. Good idea. It's neutral. The thing is, a good idea can be a very good bad idea, but eventually, through
Hmm.
refinement, very successful idea. That's what we want to achieve. That is the goal, really.
Hmm.
Here's an example: tokens, whether it be ERC20, an NFT 721, and so forth. What we notice that by themselves, again, the cha cha, the dance, by themselves, it's
Hmm.
pointless. It's pointless. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
It looks
Yeah. Well,
entertaining
if
at
if if
first.
if there's no people to use it, what is it for? I mean, even if the music is playing and nobody's dancing, it's useless.
Right. It is useless. Even if it's a good beat, if there's no one there to kind of hold their hand and get onto the dance floor,
Hmm.
there's no party. But what I'm saying is where the party comes in this whole analogy of dancing and cha-cha is the fact that when people start following the rules, I don't know if
Hmm.
you've done dance sport competitions, but there are rules in these
No,
competitions.
I have not done any dance competition, and I'm not intending to join one. But I know some of the dance. I can probably in a way dance to some music, but not all music.
Right, right. But what I'm saying is, whether it be, I think like, I don't know what the correct term is like cheer sports or something,
Dance
cheerleading,
sports.
dance sports. That's the yeah, dance sports.
Hmm.
Uh, when we follow a structure, because those things have competition rules, there's structure in it,
Hmm.
just like in blockchain. In this example,
Yes.
tokens. When we start putting in governance and voting, giving the power back to the people, providing incentives. If you buy this token, hey, I get tokens back worth value. And of course,
Hmm.
the idea of the standard ERC20 or 721, because these are specific standards.
Right.
Okay, you basically give something without meaning life, and
Hmm.
without that meaning, you won't have a very successful idea. Again, we convert a token into a DAO token because there is structure. I
Yeah.
mean, the only reason why you want to dance with somebody is because, of course, there's an interest, there's a structure, maybe there's an
Yeah.
opportunity. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so now what I want to end with right now is that when we look at blockchain, if you are going to enter blockchain is an external representation of your personality. When you come into this space, when you start to
Hmm.
learn and educate, whatever whatever field within blockchain, you have to have a deeper understanding. Okay, you combine
Hmm.
that, you start to understand what kind of personality you are. With your
Hmm.
personality and whatever you identify as, like if
Hmm.
you want to create a movement, you want to create a business, you want to create video tutorials,
Right.
influence the market.
Hmm.
Technically, now we solve for why. Why blockchain, which is the whole premise of today's episode, the
Hmm.
why in blockchain.
Right. So it's in a similar manner like when we were creating our own platform. I mean, in the beginning we were like, which project are we gonna concentrate? We're like finding our own space into which one, because we have so many personalities in the team in Crypto Chic, right? And you cannot just say, okay, let's just go with with your projects, like, or probably we can go into the gaming. Yeah, why not? Because we can do that. Or probably we can just concentrate on my own project, which is real estate. But we kind of like analyze, is it really going to be giving us a deeper opportunity, or is the why compelling enough for us to go through to that project? For me right now, if you want to answer, I would answer it for myself. But in the beginning, I was like, yeah, maybe we can create our own content with Crypto Chic. We can create our own education, own portfolio, probably have it on our own YouTube channel, and probably create our own website. But along the way, you yourself convinced me that, hey, Zai, probably you can look on the other way where you really are good at in real estate, and probably we can create a component of blockchain along with it. I mean, we are not telling people that they can just buy using fiat. We're not just telling people we are restricting you to create a deposit on this bank account, but we are open in, creating or accepting your cryptocurrency through our third party partner. And to me, it now that we have researched so much about it, it kind of grew in a bigger, deeper, and we're involving many businesses, as well as empowering the common market, right? So
Mm.
I wanted to discuss it here, but I'm sure there's not enough time. But all I'm saying is that right now, I think after being with you guys, being with you, Sly, being with Queenie, with Joel and Tess, I mean, before I was all alone, but with you guys, I feel more empowered, and I feel the strength that the idea is not just for me, but it's for everybody, and it will create a more impactful and a sustainable growth, not just for the business people that are there, but also to many consumers, and it will really help our economy. I mean, I'd rather not go. I'd rather go abroad and be on my own. But yeah, that what's my deeper why there? Nothing. But here, even if it was hard, and it's still hard, and you know it, I'm up for it because I know in the end it's for everybody's sake, and it's for everybody to have a better life in the future. And then that is a legacy that we both understand.
True. Because just like anything else, whether it be, I don't know, if you want to still use the analogy of the dance, it takes two to tango. But what I'm also saying
Yes.
is this, you know, again, today's our last episode. I've shared everything in terms of my 4 years of experience in blockchain. Although I
Mm,
do not consider myself as this influencer, like this YouTube sensei. I'm not that guy. But in terms of the business aspect, my deep understanding has influenced certain decisions, whether it be
mm,
small or big. But in
mm-hmm.
a sense, our own personality and how we identify ourselves in the blockchain space actually helps grow people around us to make um, very good decisions, very bad
Right.
decisions, or preventing
Mm-hmm.
bad decisions to create very good
And
bad
navigating them
ideas.
towards that bad idea to the good idea, and not cutting them off, but just making them realize step by step.
Right. True. True. So yeah, man. I mean that's it. And hopefully everybody understands the why in blockchain now
Well,
and why
well,
we do it.
thanks, well, we hope during this many season. I mean, this is the first season. I'm not sure yet if we'll be having a second season. But for the meantime, again, I just wanted to thank you for this one hell of a great presentation as always. And I want to thank everyone out there for being a part of our show, our small family, and hearing us out and sticking with us until this very end. And we just appreciate each and every one of you out there. And I hope you guys have learned with us and take that with you with your journey through the blockchain space and cryptocurrency. Sly, do you
Yeah.
have any comments or any last messages to our viewers and friends?
Yeah, man. So if you if at ever you want to learn some blockchain here on TNC, go ahead and rewatch the Crypto Chic episodes. There's a lot of information that is value driven, data driven as well,
Hmm.
and yeah, use it to
Sure.
educate yourself.
Yeah, definitely. We will be also uploading all of these episodes one by one in our Crypto Chic page, alongside with the YouTube channel of Crypto Chic with TNC. And I hope some of them may revisit us again if they ever miss us. So that's it for this episode and this season. Thank you, everybody, and we hope to see you again, not just here, but now we can do face to face.
All right, awesome. Anyway, all right, bye guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.